Hey there, Changemaker. Welcome to the Dare to Begin Small and Mighty podcast. I'm your host, Amy Van Meel, and I am here to inspire, teach, and give great information to entrepreneurs and budding entrepreneurs so that you can get going on creating your amazing business and life. I'm really glad that you joined me today, so without any further ado, let's jump in. Well, hey there, guys. I'm so pumped that you're joining me again today, and I trust that you've been enjoying the episode so far, and I was listening to another podcast yesterday, so before I forget, because by the end I'm always like pumped about what you're learning, if you like this episode or this podcast, then I would love for you to write a review, give me some stars. That would be fantastic, because it's a great way for other people to find about the podcast as well. So that's my little personal plug and just saying, hey, thanks for joining me. If you like it, let's tell others about it. So I have been back and forth about what to talk with you guys about this week. And last week we talked about I don't know question and how it can totally sideline our progress and all of our thoughts. So if you haven't listened to it, I definitely recommend it. I kept it short. It was 15 minutes, but basically going over, when I don't know pops up and how you can do a quick and super powerful reframe. Now, today we're going to talk about a topic that is very often taboo and that most people feel super uncomfortable talking about, and that everybody on the planet has extremely strong feelings about. Now, you might be going, Amy, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about money, guys. And here's why. So, as of last week, Wednesday, I officially opened the doors to my brand new course. It's Lost to Launched Academy. The whole course is tailored for people who are wanting to start a business and don't have a clue what to do, or to people who already are running a business but are finding that it's just overwhelming, that things aren't working naturally like they should, that they're not making profits like they want to, that they're miring in all the muck. So that's who I've tailored the course for. I've taken everything that I've learned in the last almost 5 years in business and put together a really powerful, impactful, actionable course so that others don't have to go through the same thing that I did. So I've been doing a ton of inner work lately while I've been creating the course and getting ready for the launch date. And, I've been focusing on reframing my beliefs and keeping in mind my mental game, where my mindset is at. And we hit launch date. So May 1st was the official cart open day. And I'm only keeping the cart open for 2 weeks. Now that may change down the road, but for now, by May 14th, your chance to join this round of LTL Academy will be closed. So here's what I wasn't expecting. Like I said, I've been doing a ton of inner work. I've been prepping, I've been ready. I knew that because I was launching with such a small audience, there was a good chance that nobody was going to show up for the first masterclass that I hosted to teach people about some myths that are holding them back. And ultimately the masterclasses where I present the academy, where I give people the option to join me and basically I sell them on what is inside the course and how powerful it can be. So my first webinar you're going to laugh, I had 3 people and I was absolutely over the moon because of those 3 people, 2 people were people I had no idea who they were. So I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. Like, this is just going to keep going. And then the next day I had my second webinar. And I had 1 person show up, and that 1 person was a friend of mine. And not that I wasn't grateful for them showing up, but I'm like, well, how come I had people on the first one and now all of a sudden I got nothing? And I could feel like from the moment that by the end of my first day, so cart open day, May 1st, my evening sort of went sideways and I got like ready to go to bed and I was starting to feel really down about myself and about how the day had gone and how like I had wanted for these things and it wasn't working. And then I get into cart day 2 and I have one person in my webinar and I'm like, oh no. And as the days continued, I just lost faith, like in droves. So I reached out to my coach and I said, I don't know what's going on, but I'm having a really hard time keeping the faith that this is going to be a success, keeping the faith that the universe really does want all the best things for me, and that what I have been working for, dreaming for, preparing for, is not actually within my reach. Now, I've talked about this before, about the idea of universal timing. And of course, about 2 days before cart open, I happened to see a post on Instagram from someone that I follow quite a bit, who's all about manifesting money and talking about money. And she had a 3-day manifestation challenge that she was opening up because, as it turns out, she's launching her course as well. And the challenge was to manifest $1,000 in 3 days. I'm like, you know what? Even though it's coming in perfectly in line with when my course opens, I think it'd be a great challenge to take. So yeah, the challenge starts May 1st. Now I get in there May 2nd, like in the afternoon of May 2nd, while I'm feeling all kinds of like down about myself. And she has some exercises in there and she does some live videos in there. And as I'm listening on Friday to one of the live videos, she basically talks about our beliefs and what do we actually believe? Because what we believe is what will present in our current reality. And I know this, I've talked to you guys about this in the episodes before, but all of a sudden, like being hit by a flash of lightning, I realized that no matter all the work that I've been doing, deep down, I didn't believe I was worthy of it. Now, I've been working with my coach about the idea of worthiness. I know there's 3 pillars, and one, like, mine is, I think it was obliterated by a nuclear bomb. Like, it's so funny because if you were to ever meet me, you'd probably be like, Amy, like, you totally got it, right? Not that I'm saying I'm totally awesome, but you wouldn't get the impression from meeting me that I really struggle with the idea of worthiness. And it comes up in every aspect of my life. And money, for me, is enormously tied into my worthiness. So when I heard this person say, if you don't really believe that you're worthy of receiving it, you can work as hard as you want to. You can put everything in place. You're not going to get it because deep down, you don't believe that it's for you. And I was like, I swear I got hit by a bolt of lightning. I'm like, oh my goodness. If this is the case, and I totally see it right now with absolute clarity, then I could do everything right. I could spend thousands of dollars on Facebook ads. I could know 100,000 people. I could be shouting from the rooftops and be, broadcast on TV episodes and it wouldn't matter because deep down, I don't believe I'm worthy of receiving this. And at that point, I suddenly saw, my life as it's been in the past few years, and I've had success in my business. The crazy thing is that my business has been profitable, and it's been profitable purely because of the parameters that I put in place. But I've never given myself credit for it. And you might be thinking, Amy, how can you, A, create a profitable business if you don't believe that it's possible? And B, how can you not have given yourself credit? So I'm still working on that. I'll be totally honest. I have no idea. But all I can say is that basically all the frameworks, everything that I've put in place to maximize my business and to set it up for my client success and for profitability, those are what ultimately is the reason that my business has been profitable. And that's everything that I teach inside the course. So let's just leave that right there. But as I heard this woman yesterday say, or on Friday say about, you need to believe that it's actually going to come forward. It really, it shook me to my foundation. And I realized in that moment that in my mind, I was not only not worthy, I was less than worthy. Now, here's what I mean by that. I carry a a certain amount of, we're going to call it debt, because that's how most of us understand it. And if we see, baseline zero, so $0 is basically feeling like, no, you're not worthy, that's baseline. Then if I look at where I am in terms of my debt ratio, I am below baseline, which to me says that not only do I believe that I'm not worthy, I'm less than not worthy. I don't know what their word is for that, but it blew my mind. And as I look back over everything and I look back over all that I've struggled with in my life and how these beliefs have played out, I'm like, I'm done. I'm putting the stake in the ground now. From this moment forward, my life changes and I will do whatever I have to, but I am never going to be here again. I'm done. It starts now to start making the change. So I've been doing some massive exercises and I'm going to share with you in a second. But if this is resonating with you, I hope it does. I'm not sharing this with you because it's super comfortable for me, but I do want to share this with you because I know I'm not the only one out there who feels this way. I know that I'm not the only one out there that is doing all the things right and isn't seeing the level of success or the level of increase or abundance in their life that they want. I know I'm not the only one out there. So let me tell you a few things that I used to think, and I say used to because I've done a little bit of release around them, and I'll share what that looked like. But some of my previous thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about money that I held, and they may ring true for you, and they may not. But I hope, whether they do or not, that it sparks some inner questioning in you that you're like, okay, let's look at this. So here's some of the things that I believed. Money doesn't like me. It is a scarce resource to me. That I am unworthy of receiving what I want. That money is always testing me and I always fail. Now, obviously, money has come into my life in a variety of ways because, you can't have a profitable business if it's not coming in, right? But I've never been able to see it. And now I understand why I've never been able to fully acknowledge it. It was January of this year where I went, oh my gosh, my business has been profitable. And it took me a while to really go, okay, that's a cool thing. And between you and I, it's been a bit uncomfortable to even tell people hey, my business has been profitable. Because it's obviously, if I look at what are the things that I believed, it was so against everything that I seem to believe in my very core. So I have been, like I said, I've been doing a ton of inner work. And so I now pay very close attention, even more so than I ever used to. And I always pay good attention to it. But if I have intuitive nudges, if I have suddenly things that pop up that literally will come out of the thin air, that is just you need to do this now. I'm like, okay. So Thursday evening, all of this is coming to a head. Everything's sort of, working through. I'm working through these exercises that this woman had given and doing some even more deep digging. I feel like an archaeologist in terms of my beliefs and my feelings because that's all I've been doing lately, it seems like. And all of a sudden, I just got this thought, Amy, we're going to do a release. And this is what it's going to look like because it was bedtime. So we're going to light a candle. Underneath that candle, you're going to write a post-it that says, when this candle burns out, I will have released all of my previous thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about money. I am ready to start fresh. And it seems weird. I'm totally honest. It seems weird. But I'm like, okay, that's what I feel like what I'm supposed to do. So that's what I'm going to do. So I brush my teeth, get myself ready. I get the candle. I'll write up my Post-it. I put the Post-it underneath the candle holder on my dresser, which means that I have light in my room. And I go to bed. And in the middle of the night, at some point, I wake up realizing that the room is dark and immediately think, okay, from this moment on, it changes. I've released my thoughts, feelings, and fears around money. And now it's time to start a new relationship. And I went right back to sleep. It was Weird, let me tell you. Weird, but very cool. So the next day I'm doing more of this money work and, working through the worksheets. And one of the things that this person talks about, and I loved how she framed it, she asked us to write down, 10 to 15 ways that we show up for the most important person in our life. So I thought about my guy. How do I show up for him in our relationship? And I wrote down a whole bunch of things. And then she says, now think about money. How are you showing up in your relationship with money? Like, what do you think about it? What do you feel about it? And I'm like, well, it hasn't been good. And I realized, I'm like, well, if I'm not willing to show up, if I don't treat money with love and with respect and with gratitude and with all the positive emotions that I bring to my relationship that I do with my guy, well, it's no wonder that it's not going to come pouring into my life. It has never let me down in the sense that it always shows up just enough to get me through. I wrote down in my journal at one point, it will show up enough so I'm not jumping off a bridge, and that's about it. So it does come in. Like I said, I can't have a profitable business if I didn't have money coming in. But it always felt to me negative. It always came from, in my mind, scarcity. I was always fearful around it. So I'm like, okay, how am I going to show up for money? If I want to have a wonderful, loving, full, abundant relationship with money, then I got to show up. I got to do the work, right? If I want to have a wonderful, loving, full, abundant relationship with my guy, I got to show up. I can't say to him every day, I hate you. I hate that you always leave me feeling like there's never enough. I hate that as soon as you come in the door, you walk away again. I feel like there's nothing but negativity around you. He's not going to stay. Would you? No, of course not. So as I was writing down, so she asked us to write down 10 ways that you can show up for money. And I'm like, oh boy, okay, how can I show up for money? Which is not a person, it's this, energetic thing. How do I show up for it? And among the things that I wrote down, this one really stood out to me, and I immediately started doing it. So one of the ways that I have vowed to show up for money is to tie a practice of gratitude for money to something that I do regularly. So in my case, washing my hands. Now I wash my hands a lot in the day. So now every single time I wash my hands, I think I am so grateful to money because, and then I fill in the blank. And if I'm washing raw chicken off my hand and I'm like underneath the faucet for a while, I just keep going. I'm so grateful to money because it is an abundant resource. I'm so grateful to money because it shows up all around me. I'm so grateful to money because, like the water out of this faucet, it flows abundantly into my life. I'm so grateful to money because it continues to come in and all I need to do is turn on the tap. I'm so grateful to money because it allows me to have amazing experiences, and on and on and on. And every time I wash my hands, I now go, okay, I'm so grateful to money because it's become, if I wash my hands a lot, like I went to the washroom and then I made something to eat and then I, spilled something or made a coffee or whatever, then I'm so grateful to money because, like, constantly, that's all that's going through my mind. And that's fantastic because I want to build that positive relationship. So I have been in the process of healing my relationship with money. And that little candle ceremony, as silly and weird as it might sound, it was the perfect release for me to be able to say, I'm done with everything that I've thought, believed, or felt about money before. And from this moment forward, I'm engaging in a new relationship with it. So just like anything else, money in our life is a relationship. If you have someone that you love very dearly, you have a relationship with that person. You have a relationship with yourself, which is why every coach on the planet says, be kind to yourself, love yourself, say wonderful, loving things to yourself. Look, I'm not the only one that struggles with that from day to day, but I'm working on it. Money is the same thing. And it's frustrating to me because it's taboo to talk about. When you go to a party, if you start asking someone about their thoughts or beliefs about money, like, you might as well be asking about their favorite sexual positions because it's just that taboo. Like nobody talks about it, right? That's not polite conversation. But in the end, what it does is it closes the door on having open communication about something that is in every single person's life. I don't care where you live on the planet. Money is something that is involved in all of our lives. It has to be. We buy houses, we buy cars, we need to pay for our phone, we need to, pay for electricity or heat or water, what have you. Like you literally cannot, you have to buy food. You cannot exist on the planet without having to have a relationship with money. But you get to decide, is that relationship a positive relationship? Is it loving and full of gratitude and abundant and you're always excited for it? Or is it like the relationship that I had, where it's negative and dark and hateful and spiteful? You have to choose what that relationship is and how you're going to show up in it. So I loved that this woman said, look, how are you showing up for money? Because it's so important that you show up in a loving, caring, open way. So in healing my relationship with money and doing my hand washing habit, I'm bringing love and gratitude all day long to money. And it's so mega powerful. Now, everything that I've been learning the last months, the last week, everything that I've been going through, my goal here is to start to take off the shroud around money. To let you know that if you have negative thoughts, beliefs, and feelings about money, that you're not the only one. And to encourage you that if you do have those feelings, to reach out. Reach out to someone, reach out to a coach or to a really amazing friend and someone who has an abundant mindset, somebody who's not going to just sit there and commiserate with you. I want you to find someone who's willing to say, you know what, you're totally right. How can let's improve this. Let's do this together. That's massive when you have someone like that in your corner. But I share this with you because I hope that through letting you know some of the stuff that I'm digging in, that you'll be able to start to heal your relationship with money as well. Because in the end, we're all abundant beings and we all deserve abundance in our life. And let me tell you, every single one of us is worthy. And that's something that I'm working on. So I'm sharing this with you today in part because, like I said, I want to teach you, I want to inspire you, I want to help you. And just to let you know, hey, I'm on the journey with you. So stay tuned. We'll see what comes on this money journey. It hasn't started raining into my bank account just yet, but I believe that it will. And I'm just excited about the future that I'm creating for myself, that I'm creating a future for myself that is abundant. Let me tell you one last thing, and then I'm going to close out the podcast. So most of us, probably all of us, get most of our money beliefs from our parents. And I think I've talked about this in an episode before. I can't recall which one exactly, but that we get these beliefs that are drilled into our mind about money, about, work, blah, blah, blah. We have all these different things that are put in. And I remember when I was a kid always hearing, we can't afford it, there isn't enough money, do you think money grows on trees? All those things. But let me tell you about something that happened just a few years ago. So in my journey and archaeological dig into my relationship with money, I have come to realize that I have a huge tie to my dad with money. I haven't quite figured out why, but everything that comes up, every belief that I have, every, fear that I have is always tied to something that my dad has said or done or shown. So I'm like, okay. And I love my dad dearly. So let me just say that right now. A couple years ago, my dad was out to visit me. And I don't think I'll ever forget this. We're sitting in the kitchen. I'm making breakfast or something. We're talking about something that happened in the news that had something to do with like CEOs getting paid crazy amounts of money, whatever it was. It might have been, we might have been talking about some of like the bailouts that happened, etc. I can't remember exactly, but I remember this vividly. In the conversation, my dad says vehemently, with all the energy that he can muster, I effing hate rich people. And I had this crazy out-of-body experience in that exact moment where, like, I swear I just sort of floated up and went, holy crap, no wonder I'm having issues with money. If that's what, like, even if I've never heard him say that before, I know I've been picking up on it. Now, that was several years ago, and obviously I'm just now, like, finally starting to get into some of it and digging through some of it. But imagine the power that has on your belief systems. So being successful, yeah, I mean, obviously he wants all the good things for me. He's always encouraging me. He's always got my back. But I notice, so working hard to be profitable, which I talk about in my masterclass, I learned that from my dad. And whereas I don't get encouragement if I'm working a half day or I'm working, call it less than a typical day. If I'm working like in the evenings or I'm working crazy hours or what have you, then he's like, good job, keep going, it's going to come to you. And that's encouraging a behavior that I don't want. But no matter how successful I'm aiming to be, if I hold on to this belief that my dad hates rich people, how likely do you think I am to go ahead and, like, full bore, both feet in, go ahead and create myself to be a rich person? I want my dad to love me, right? So think about moments like that have happened into your life. Think about when someone that you love, that you admire, that you respect has said something that has completely embedded into your mind, even if you don't realize it. That's the sneaky one. It usually gets in there without us knowing, and how it might be holding you back. And you're not here to judge them. You're not here to judge yourself. But let's say, hey, look, you know what? I want a new relationship with money starting today. So then you just ask, all right, universe, what's it going to take? What will it take for me to have an amazing relationship with money? All right, kids, that's all I want to talk about today. So I trust that you found this to be a insightful podcast, hopefully helpful. I really encourage you to dig into your beliefs, your thoughts, your feelings around money and what they look like and how they might be holding you back. Now, there's a ton of resources that you can check out in order to start learning about an abundant mindset, to start getting some frameworks in. So I think I talked about this before. There is Wallace D. Wattles has the book, The Science of Getting Rich. I highly recommend you read it. I read it twice in a couple of weeks because it was so good. Jen Sincero has a book. It is, I believe it's How to Be a Badass with Money. Fantastic. I'm reading it right now. You can check out if you want to see some of the resources that I've been using. So her name is Paige Cole. I think her Instagram handle is the.page.cole. I'm not quite sure, but if you Google her, I'm sure you'll find her. And my dear friend and my personal coach, Brandy Taylor, has a podcast as well where she's touching on all kinds of issues. And I'm sure she's going to be posting some podcasts about money. And her podcast is called Fear It Goes. So there's some resources for you guys to lean into and start improving your relationship. Build a new, wonderful, loving, grateful, abundant relationship with money so that you can have everything you want. Because look, if there's anything I learned from The Science of Getting Rich, it is that we are here to live an abundant life. The universe wants to experience things through us, and the only way to do so is to get rich so we can have whatever experiences the universe is like, hey, what about this one? All right? Cool. So I encourage you to check out those. And like I said at the beginning, I'm going to remember it this time. I would love it if you left me a review on iTunes. Give me some stars if you feel so led to. I would be fantastically grateful if you would do that. And then share this podcast out with others. And finally, as of the posting of this podcast, there is 8 days left to join me inside the Lost to Launched Academy. So I mentioned this one earlier, and just to give you a quick reminder, so the Academy is all about giving you actionable, straight to the point tools to build, launch, and grow a profitable business. And even though you might be thinking right now, Amy, we just spent the whole time talking about money. Remember, despite all the thoughts and feelings and beliefs I had about money, I built a profitable business. So I promise you that the tools and exercises that you find inside the Academy will make you profitable if you action on them. And if you join me, you get a fantastic bonus, which I just love, it's called Your Success Activator. So that bonus is all about taking the true formula for success, which I talk about in my masterclass, and giving you daily exercises to action on that formula and make it work. So between that bonus, the live Q&As that I'll do every week with you guys, the community that I have set up for you guys, all the information that you'll find inside all 10 modules of the Academy, I would be hard-pressed to believe that you couldn't make whatever dream you have burning inside your heart right now come to fruition and be making money, right? We're all about making money because, look, you're here to live an abundant life. The universe wants to have really cool experiences for you. And to have those cool experiences, you gotta make some money, honey. All right? Okay. If you want to join me for the masterclass, I'm hosting 2 more this week. You can go to daretobegin.net/masterclass. If you are ready to say, Amy, let's do this, I want to join you in the course. I'm pumped to launch my business. I'm pumped to take the business I have right now and make it profitable. I really want to learn these amazing strategies that you have been able to create a profitable business despite all your crazy beliefs running around in your head. Then you can join me at daretobegin.net/join. And like I remind you, it's only open until May 14th. Once the doors closed, you can be waitlisted for the next opening, which will probably be in the fall, but we'll see. I wish you all a fantastic, wonderful, amazing day, and remind you to bring love and gratitude to your relationship with money. Bye for now.